Hello, hello, good morning. Good morning from Vietnam. How are you all doing today? Long time no see, Marble. I'm so happy to see you. Hello, Elizabeth. Hello, Laurie. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Sean. Hi, Patrice. Hello, Mia. Let me see. We got we got Mark. Welcome to the tour. Hello, Lynn. Hello, Justin, all the way from New York. Hello, Doreen. Hello, Alfred. Hi, Linda. Hello, Maureen. Yeah, so it's all about the chocolate today. I will walk you around the garden, and yeah, we will learn about the whole process. Hello, Robert. Thank you for joining, and thank you for sharing our tour. Thank you. Good evening. How are you in Spring? We are doing great. Spring will be in the chat for today, Marble, and I will be taking you on a tour around the garden. Actually, I just did a tour. The owner, he actually showed me around the garden, and he kind of give me a tour on the whole process, and right now I try to remember everything. I learned everything from him for the 2 days, and yeah, I will try my best to transfer my knowledge to you all today. All right. What time is it there? Mia said, right now it's almost 8 o'clock in the morning, actually. So 8 in the morning, and we are in the Mekong Delta right now. Did you? Yes, Laurie, I actually take a lot of notes because this is not a typical tour that I do, So everything is new for me. Actually, chocolate is not really a very well-known thing in Vietnam. So yeah, I have my notes over here, and I may have to take a look at them if I forget stuff, So the one that you see over here is coconut, right? And guess what? We drink a lot of them, of course. We use every part, but now we are planting the whole new tree. And how we do it? Well, with the coconut, we're gonna we I want to use the word wait, but it's not that appropriate. So we just let them there, Normally they're gonna fall off, right? And we don't drink them. After a while, they're gonna turn have a brownish black, dark color like this. And then if we if we stick them to the ground and give them some good nutrient, so the fertilizer, it comes from the shelf of the coconut. Here is a chocolate garden, so they have the cacao shell as well. That would be also a nutrient for the coconut. And then we're gonna wait. You see, so this is a baby coconut. So this is what a baby look like, and it's around 50 centimeters. So how do I say it in the state? Let me see. 1 meters is like 3. So it's like 1 feet, 1 to 1.5 feet like that. And it's only here for a few days. Actually, the young coconut. I have to get moving around quickly because there's a lot of Asian weaver here. So you got the idea, right? Coconut, the nuts, we're gonna stick them to the ground, give them fertilizer, give them good nutrient. Normally, we let them grow naturally like that. And then after 5 to 7 years, this baby coconut tree gonna grow into a taller tree. Now, there are many type of trees, coconut trees. It could grow very, very tall. So it could be around like 10 meters height. But then this type of coconut in this house is an average one. So you can see that it's grow up to over there. So I would say this is around 7 meters. So 7 meters will be around 20 feet like that. And yeah, so we're gonna have us done with a bamboo stick. We're gonna actually there are two ways, right? We're gonna have us done with a stick, or the local here, the farmers, they're gonna climb up on top of the tree and then collect everything and then bring it down like that. So that's it, a little bit about coconut. But we are not here for the coconut, you know. Today we are in this garden for the chocolate. And hello everyone. So if you are new to our tour, then you are joining the tour with Hugh and Spring. Spring is actually in the chat right now because I noticed there are a lot of people. Spring will answering your question, some of your question in the chat. So please feel free to type down everything, all right? Everything related to Vietnam, related to chocolate, and related to fruit and vegetable in general. In today's tour, I will try my best to answer all your questions, all right? And my name Hugh is pronounced almost like Hugh Jackman, you know, or like Healing, like that. And normally we based in Saigon, which is the largest city in Vietnam. But right now, we are in the Mekong Delta region, which is around 4 or 5 hours away from Saigon. And the city that I'm showing you today is Can Tho City, which is actually the capital of the Mekong, like that. So without further ado, let's get started. Again, please feel free to ask us all kind of questions. And I want to say a big thank you for joining the tour. And a big thank to Robert as well. You know, thank you for sharing this tour on your meetup group so more people can come to us. All right. Right now I'm gonna just head back to the cacao, you know, because it's all about the chocolate today, right? Chocolate and coconut together, yummy, yeah. So everything is here. We got coconut, we got banana, we got mangosteen. But the main trees here would be the cacao tree or chocolate like that. So right here, this is what we have. So the area is around 1.2 hectares, which is a very, very big garden that they have, you know. And the owner here, he very old already. He's 72 years old. And but I mean, he got some tiredness. So he did a few tours with me the other day, like showing me how the chocolate is made in Vietnamese. And right now I will do a tour, you know. So considering I'm like the owner right now, I kind of have all of his knowledge, and I will try to share everything to you like that. This is a little bit sad. This is a small one, a small cacao, you know, but it's supposed to be bigger though. So it's actually a organic garden. They don't use any kind of chemical here. For the fertilizer of the cacao, let me show you the bottom of it. So cacao, this is a cacao tree. They're gonna use just the dry leaf, you know, in the garden, along with the coconut husk and the cacao shell as the fertilizer. Every month, they will also come to the canal. So we got a lot of canal like this. This is the Mekong, right? So we got rivers, you know, a very big river system. But then this one is what we call a canal, right? A canal with water, but then you can see it's very dark with a lot of water fern. And in the bottom of the water would be the mud, right? So the mud is actually very nutrient rich, and the owner can dig up all the mud and then bring it to the cacao tree like that. So you got the idea. It's all organic, from the mud, the leaf, the dry leaf, and the cacao shell, the coconut husk. Everything is organic, right? And it will become a form of fertilizer, a form of nutrient for our tree today. So actually, right now, there was a lot of foreigners. They come here, including the big company. They want to buy the cacao from him. And the biggest one is actually Maru. So if you ever come to Vietnam, you must try it, all right? Maru is actually a very popular chocolate company in Vietnam, especially in the south, like in Saigon. And normally they are specialized in like dark 100% organic chocolate like that. But then they also have a different like yummy treat, you know, like they mix them with a bit of sugar and milk as well, just like a Hershey one. But yeah, my roux, like originally, is from 2009, and they focus on just mainly organic, like dark, a little bit bitter chocolate products like that. So let me walk around the garden a bit. No worry, Ivy. So happy to see you. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so far so good. Again, please type down all your questions, all right? If I don't answer them during the chat, if I miss anything, I will leave them toward the end. So this tour, it will last for 45 minutes. And normally in the end, I will also sit down and take a look at the chat one more time as well. So with the cacao, how about the insects? Well, for the insects, the owner let that one, the one that you see in the chart, is the Asian weaver. It's actually a very big ant, you know. So let me show you what it looked like in real life. So that's the ant, right? There's actually tons and tons of them. And that's why I mentioned you have to keep moving, right? Because if they bite, it's extremely painful, you know. But the thing about these ants is they cannot eat all the insects. So they, you know, it's very beneficial. And that's why we don't need any spray, you know, any insecticide like that. All right, let me show you a decent cacao pot, you know, so you can get the idea. I guess you don't have it in the States, right? Maybe because this kind of tree, I would say only a blessed country can grow it, and Vietnam is like one of them. Like we need a tropical weather, you know, with a lot of rain, a lot of monsoon, like that. These are wild trees, so it's actually easy to grow in Vietnam, right? Especially in the Mekong, because we got all the nutrients from the river, and we got the sun and the rain as well. But in the States or Canada, I don't know. Maybe in the States you can grow in Florida or something. But if you haven't seen it before, a lot of people, Westerner, tend to get confused. They assume that the chocolate tree, the cacao tree, cacao tree, it looks like coffee, right? But it doesn't. It looks something like this. So there are many different types of pots, many different colors, you know. But the one that we have in this garden would be the red one and the green one. So when they are unripe, they're gonna have this color. So red color like this. Let me show you another one. Actually, I saw a lot of big ones today. So if it, you know, if I show a bigger one, I will show you. But this is like a pretty decent size. Nowhere in Vietnam, it's a bit smaller. So red one and green one is a colors, right? But for the cacao, for the tree, normally there are three types of species. The first one and the most common one are the one that we call forestario. Forestario is like very popular. It's like 80% of the cacao trees on the planet. And then we also have the Criollo. And finally, the one that you see in this garden today is the Trinitario, like that. So Trinitario is actually special because they are the hybrid between the Forastero and the Criollo, like that. So this is like a hybrid between the two. And you see another red one. So how long does it take? Well, for the cacao tree, the history is that it's never a common thing in Vietnam really until recently. But we got the French, right? So the French, they came and they colonized our country. They colonizing Vietnam. So if you take a look at the map, you can see the southern part of Vietnam. Like we are in the Red City, Can Tho City. But they took everything. They took the whole southern part in 1867. So they took this region, they colonized first, and they actually called it Cochin China during that time, right? But we all know that the European, it all started with Spain, but European in general, they love chocolate. So the French, actually, they are the one who introduced the chocolate and the coffee to us, to the Vietnamese. But it wasn't popular. This house, this whole garden, they was here in 1960s. during the 60s, the family grow a lot of cacao tree, but we actually eat them. So later on, I will chop them up, and I will show you the flesh inside. But imagine that the flesh inside, it look a little bit like lychee or like mangosteen. And yeah, Vietnamese, we don't make chocolate, right? It's actually a very complicated process. So we eat them. We eat them with condensed milk and sugar and ice like that. So like a treat mostly for the young, for the students. But then, let me show you the green one right here. Oi. All those cicadas during summer, sometimes they going crazy with these sounds. Cicada. Let me just take a quick look at the chat. Hello everyone, welcome. So again, please take a look at the map. We are in the Red City right now. And this how they're growing cacao since 1960s. However, during that time, we got into the war with the States, with the American. So the cacao, it was actually abandoned after the war, after 1975. And so imagine that in the city, a lot of houses growing the cacao during the French, right? But then after 1975, they chopped them down, they destroy them. They don't want them anymore because they don't know how to make money out of it, right? But the father of this house, let me move a bit quickly because there's actually a tour behind me and I don't want to disturb them with my voice, So the father of this house, he actually told his son that, I actually love the cacao tree, but I don't know what to do with it yet. But what I want you to know is, please don't chop them down, don't destroy them, and please try to do something with them that I don't know. So the youngest son, his name is Muoi Cuong. So M-U, I think Spring gonna type it down for you. M-U-O-I-C-U-O-N-G. Muoi Cuong is the name of the owner, the youngest son, and also he's the one who show me around the garden. And maybe we're gonna meet him later on today, all right? But anyhow, the youngest son, he was studying in college, in university, and he discovered a French book on how to make chocolate. So he would decide to, along with their siblings, they have 10 siblings. Mười, the word mười, it means number 10, right? And in Vietnam, we put number into our name. So it's like, he was the last one, number 10. So his name is like 10. And then Cuong is like the name as well, like that. So I have to check in with you that, can you hear my voice with the cicadas on the back? Yeah. Yes, so far so good. Yeah, if you want me to be louder, please let me know, all right? I can be loud as well. Because these cicada, But yeah, let's continue. Right now, I think I will walk to a place where I can show you the flesh of the cacao, But we got this tree. Actually, I don't know the English name of it, but you can say that it's an itchy one. So if we touch them, then it's gonna be very, very itchy like that. But yeah, you can see they produce a lot of fruits as well. I haven't never seen them before. So let's go here. Yeah, it's a very big garden with more than 2,000 trees. Most of the trees is from the 60s until now already. So it will have the age of around 60 years old. And I'm sorry, I don't know if I mentioned this before. Yeah, I have short memory for today, I think. But it takes 3.5 months to harvest the fruit, right? And the fruits, it's gonna grow all year around, right? So there's not really a season. However, during November to September, they will produce more fruits like that. So it's actually a vegetable, like a fruit, And when it is ripened, it's gonna turn into a yellow color like this. So you got an idea, right? There are 2 types of color when it's not ripe, which is green and red. And then when it's got ripened, so this is like around 3.5 months, around that time, they're gonna turn into this color here, like yellow color. Ooh, there's a bird just flew by me. And everything is by hand, right? Everything is by hand here. We're gonna pick them up. We're gonna put them into the basket, and then we're gonna bring them into the house to process. Which color is ripe? So the yellow, always yellow, right? Again, red and green. When it ripen, it will turn into yellow like that. So let me show you the green one, another green one. So in Vietnam, I would say, if you look at the baby one, it looks a little bit like a vegetable that we call khổ qua, which is a bitter melon, you know. This is actually not, this is like a cacao fruit or the pod, right? So let's go to the house. How many pots for small chocolate bars? Actually, he doesn't produce chocolate bar. Maru does. So in his garden, he only produces the chocolate, you know, like as a liquid and as a solid cube. And then he sent to Maru, which is a big company. Also, Nestle come here as well. So yeah, then the big company gonna produce the bars, right? And normally with sugar. But I think if producing a bar, then it's gonna take around one to two pots for a few, like 3 to 4 bars like that. Because inside there actually a lot of flesh. So let me show you. A lot of leaf. We never clean up the leaf, you know, because those are like fertilizer, right? It's very nutrient rich. It's very beneficial for different trees. So like the one that you see here is a banana tree with no banana for now. But we also have mangosteen, a lot of mangoes as well. But the biggest export and the biggest produce in the Mekong is this one. So if you come to Vietnam, you must try it, all right? So we call it dragon fruit. Dragon fruit, it actually tastes a bit like a kiwi, even though I know that in the West, it doesn't really have a taste. So it's pretty boring. But in Vietnam, it's very sweet, you know, because of the weather. And if you aim for the red one, then it's gonna be so sweet like kiwi. And this is the kind of the dying one. But guess what? This is also another special type, jackfruit, right? So for a jackfruit, actually, they usually have a lot of fruit, because one branch would producing like normally 1 or 2 jackfruits, and we're gonna eat them. We're gonna make a mock meat, like vegan meat out of them as well, like that. So jackfruit tree. But then again, mainly most of them are the cacao, you know, a cacao pot like that. So this is their house, right? And now I'm gonna show you what it looked like. What was that black texture stuff on top of the dying tree stump? Black texture stuff on top of the dying trees. I think you are talking about the jackfruit, but they have the like the cage here as well, and that's when normally for some kind of catching the rats, or they could use it to keep the bird as well. Yeah, and this is the kitchen area, you know. So they live here. It's a family with the husband and wife. The husband is 72 years old, and yeah, normally he gonna take a tours in Vietnamese for people mainly from, you know, they're foreigners, and we got people from Hanoi as well. A lot of them from Hanoi in the northern region. But this is new, right? New kind of activity, inviting people to come. Before that, they're gonna do this, so like harvesting different things in the garden. Mainly in this house, chocolate, cacao, but we're gonna also see some bananas as well. And this is coconut, right? Coconut shelf. So we drink them, and then we're gonna make you see, there's no meat inside, so we scoop the meat out, and we're gonna make coconut oil and coconut milk with them, like that. Actually, I saw a toast already over there. I think people from the West, but let me come and take a closer look. So yeah, it's what a house in the Mekong look like, you know, very spacious. Very spacious. So 1.2 hectare here. So I think that would be around 3 acres. And it's always full of trees like that. So if you ever come here, you know, again, the name is Muoi Cuong. You can look it up on Google. He getting more popular these days. But if you ever come here, then you can come from around 7 in the morning until around 12 noon time. But keep in mind that perhaps you want to bring a lot of spray, you know, like mosquito spray. Otherwise, with this kind of weather and this kind of greenery, there are a lot of insects and mosquitoes like that. Oh, there are actually more people than I expected. Will he get me past? Let me try. It's a puppy. No. Oh, yo. So most of the chocolate, you know, is come from the Ivory Coast, which is around 38%. So keep in mind that it's a new thing for us. And recently, for the Z generation and for the millennial, it become more popular. But I would say older generation in Vietnam this is not a really a thing, you know. So take a look at this one. So this is let me show you this map. This is where most of the chocolate are grow in our country, right? Normally it's grow in the southern region, and sometimes it grow in the central highland as well. But first of all, we're gonna harvest the fruits. Oh, it's raining actually. We're gonna harvest the fruit. We're gonna chop them to have the flesh, and then we're gonna ferment them. I will show you how it's done. But when we ferment them, I cannot show you this process because normally they only do it for once a month, right? Once a month, they're gonna put around 20 kilograms. So 20 kilograms will be around 50 pounds, right? 50 pounds of cacao, fermented cacao inside this machine. You know, it's like a hand machine. And then they're gonna roll it. They're gonna roast them. They're gonna roast them for around an hour like that. So this is new, right? This is not for chocolate. Look at my hands. This is not really for chocolate. It's actually using for coffee, you know. So people roast the coffee with it, even though it's very uncommon these days as well. But we used to roast mainly Robusta coffee, and then we add a bit of butter in it like that. But now we are creative, right? We use it for the chocolate instead. I think I have to wash my hand a bit. Otherwise, if I touch something, it's get all black, you know. Yeah. So I'm happy to see this scene because normally it's very empty, you know, the 3 years, 2-3 years with the pandemic. But now, like we got more tourists coming, and actually see two groups of them. It seems like they from Europe. I don't hear any English speaking accent, so maybe they come from Europe like that. So let me show you these guys. Oh, my hand is actually same like his color, you know. Ủa con này hình như mới mới đẻ luôn đúng không cô?
2 tháng cho phút, nhỏ xíu anh.
À, ủa 2 tháng à? Dạ. Ồ. Vậy mà sao nhìn thấy như là mới đẻ? I thought that they were just born, but they were actually 2 months already. And the owner here, actually, let me show you the owner. So the owner, yeah, the owner said that she is 2 months old already, and she eat con chó phốc. Ủa cô cho nó ăn bánh lọt hả cô?
Ăn sáng có cái gì cho nó ăn cái đó.
À dạ.
Cho nó ăn cơm.
So this is actually special types in Vietnam. I think chó phốc is very very small like this. So 2 months. Where you guys come from?
From the Netherlands.
Oh, Netherlands. I see. Oh wow. All right. 2 months. 2 months.
Dư cho nó ăn để cho nó ăn cơm mà.
Dạ. Ủa vậy là có 3 con hả cô?
3 con. Cái này
dạ.
Nhỏ cháu nhà nó đẻ 6 con rồi, nó nuôi nhiều quá đem cho nó to vậy.
Yeah. So there are three. Actually, there are six of them. Six of them, but then um, she got three. You know, she got three, and three it's went to another family like that. So this is where actually spring. Take a look at this. It's raining in the Mekong. You see? Well, I saw it's very sunny these days, but today we seem like we have a big rain coming. So coming closer to the kitchen, you see that this is how they make the chocolate. So now we kind of, I suppose to show you the whole process in the beginning, but now I see in other group there. So let me took you from kind of from the last products backwards to the beginning. All right. This is where we cook them. You know, we cook like we melted our chocolate like that, and we're gonna make a drink out of it. So I know that in Europe normally they have a fancy machine. You know, where actually one of the company in Germany and Holland come here and kind of asking if the owner wants to buy it, but he couldn't afford it. Here we use symbol, right? Symbol tool, and this one we're gonna make a hot chocolate drink out of it, or we can add some ice and then make a like refreshing drink out of it as well. But it's all like organic, no sugar, you know, no alternative added. Yeah, and the tool for the fuel, right? It's like charcoal. Sometimes it's wood. Very very simple like this into the pot. And normally, because of the rain, actually they took it in. But over there, that park is where we supposed to drive our chocolate. So now we got a pot, right? We got a chocolate pot. I'm sorry, I use chocolate a lot, but it's supposed to be cacao, right? That would be the word. We got a cacao pot, and we can karate chop them, you know, or we can use a stick, and then we just hit them, and then the pot it will come out, and then we kind of have a flesh inside. Then for the flesh, we're gonna ferment them for around 7 days, and then we're gonna dry them over there. We're gonna dry them under the sun for around 5 sun. 5 sun meaning that like 5 sunny days like that. And when it dries, we're gonna bring it inside and roast them. So now let's come back to the main area. All right. So tiny this one. Oh, yeah. Look like they were just born, but I couldn't believe it. Like 2 months already. 2 months old. Yeah. So let me run over here. So the owner over there, you know, and he actually having a tour. We are showing people how chocolate is made. Let me try to borrow one of the fresh from them. Hello. Can I borrow this one? Can I borrow this one? Thank you. So, long time no see any tourists coming, but this is what a fruit look like, right? So we got so in the beginning when it's ripened, it have a yellow color. So let me sit down a little bit like this, you know, like yellow or sometimes it's an orange color. Okay, it's raining actually, raining dogs and cats out there. But folks, can you still hear my voice when I speak? So far so good. Can you still hear me? Oh yes. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, loud and clear. All right. Perfect. So this is what our driven one look like, right? It's gonna have a yellow or sometimes orange, like dark color, like this. And we could use hand, like chop them up. We could use a stick to do that, or we could smash them on the ground, you know. And when we smash them on the ground, it's gonna turn into something like this. So, have you seen this one before? I think it's kind of rare for you to see, right? Chocolate is very popular though. But this is the inside part of the chocolate pot, right? And I would say it's very like it's, if I smell it, it's a little bit citrus, like citrusy. It's gonna be sour, and it tastes well. It tastes a little bit like a fruit that we call mangosteen in Vietnam. So it tastes like this one. But in the West, you can think that it tastes a little bit like lychee as well. So from this flesh, we can eat them right away, right? We can eat this one without any problems. And in Vietnam, we tend to mix them with condensed milk, and we add a little bit of ice in it as well, you know. So it will become a very refreshing drink like that. So we got this one. Then let me show you with a nice light angle, I think. Kind of getting a little bit dark. Right. So inside one pot, normally one pot it will have the size of almost a bit smaller than my hand for this one. Again, this is the Trinitario, all right, Trinitario species. It's smaller like this, and they're gonna have around 30 to 40 seeds. So you see, those are like seeds, right? So if we don't drink them, we can also use this one to make a lot of cosmetic products. So you know, it's not for us again, but I know that in the West, people can put it on their skin as a mask and as some kind of cream as well, like that. So this one, actually, big company, they use it for cosmetic products. And we're gonna scoop the seed out. So when we scoop it out, it looks something like this, all right? So it's empty inside, as you can see. So what we do with this one? This one, well, we can use it as a type of fertilizer, like I mentioned before, right? So we dry them and then we put them around the tree, near the tree. So nothing is wasted here, right? We use every part of the trees in our country like that. But for the flesh, we drink them, we make cosmetic products of them. But of course, in this garden, we use it mainly for the chocolate. And now let me show you. Oh, it's raining. It's so funny that whenever I go out, I carry an umbrella with me. But today I say, oh, it's sunny this day, you know, so I guess I don't need one. And now it become like this. It's a nice view, yeah. So let me show you this side of the rain as well. Oh. This is unexpected, you know, so that's why I cannot show you the drying process, because they take everything inside the house, right? But let me return the cacao pot, and I will come back to you very soon, all right? All right, I'm back. So let me show you the final products first before I come back to show you how it's made, all right? Because it's kind of convenient for me to do it like this. Um, for the final products, there are around five. I say there are five different kind of products. This is the original one. So from the beans, right? You see the flesh. If we dry them, I'm sorry. If we fermented them, then it's gonna become like this. And again, because of the rain, they have to take it inside the house, so I cannot show you. But imagine that they will have these beans, right? These beans, the white, like the creamy one that you see, the pups. They're gonna put them into a container, right? And we're gonna use banana leaf. So we use banana leaf. We're gonna wrap them around the banana leaf like that, and we're gonna wait for around 6 to 7 days. So after 6 to 7 days, we gonna have something like this. So the fermented beans, This is the dry one, so we dry them in the sun already. But now if we smell them, then it's a little bit funky, you know. It's funky. It have like a alcoholic flavor, and I would say underlie it, you can smell like a very slight like chocolate tea flavor, but still no chocolate flavor yet. All right, a little bit chocolatey, but mostly it's just like very citrus, you know, like funky alcoholic like that. And we also make wine out of them as well. So let me show you. So yeah, this one. You can always come here for a tour. You can meet a owner. He will give you a Vietnamese tour, and if you have a tour guide, then you know they're gonna translate them in English. The owner can speak a bit of French as well. So if you are French, you can come here and he will speak it in French, you know. But so this one, actually, we're gonna come back to this. So here, this is the fermented beans, right? Fermented, and we don't eat them, right? We cannot eat them normally. The youngster they gonna buy it and they gonna try to roast them by themselves like that. Oi, oi, oi! How do I cross this without an umbrella? Yeah, I want to show you that machine over there. Quickly, right? All right. Sorry for the shakiness, folks. But this machine, hang on. You see the black one, right? The fermented one. Then we're gonna roast them, and then we're gonna make chocolate with this machine right here. So this machine have two functions, right? The first function is they're gonna producing the cacao nips. So the nips is like let me show you later on. But this is what it looks like. So yeah, we got this knife is to like to scoop the edges of the machine like that. This is what this knife is for. But this is what the coconut nib look like, folks. So we got a fermented beans, right? And when we fermented them, you see we got the shelf right here. There will be the shelf. When we roast them, there will still be a little bit of shelf, so we can remove them by hand. But normally we would use 3 to 4 electric fans, and then we're gonna blow all the skin away. So when we blow the skin away, we will get something like this, right? So this one. So this one is the beans, right? And we're gonna use this machine for two functions. The first one is to actually to grind them, you know. We want to grind them, and when we grind the beans, then it's gonna look like this. Oh, my hand is too dark. So let me show you. Can you see? So that was what we call a a chocolate nips. And the nips normally people use it to top it on their smoothies, or people use it to top it on their desserts like that. It's very very bitter though. There are no sugar. There are no sugar, no milk, nothing there. It's just like 100% chocolate nips like that. So after that, what happened is you will see this one. So I want to check in with you one more time. Do you want me to be a bit louder, or can you hear my voice for now? Is it so far so good? Quay chậm thôi, okay. The volume is good. All right, thank you. So I don't have to be louder then. So we got this one right here, and this one is what it do is we're gonna we're gonna make it tighter, right? So the idea is there are two different parts, as you can see over here. So the first and the second part, if we let them loose, all right, if we create a gap like around 1 centimeters between the two, then we're gonna produce the nips. So it's not like fuzzy ground, you know. But then if we tie them, we have the wheel here. If we tie them, then it's gonna come like closer together. Yeah, the double boiler, I think you can call it as well. And if we continue to run the machine through a motor, then it's gonna produce a form of liquid, like chocolate liquid. So let me show you. The liquid is gonna come out of this. You see, a liquid or the powder as well is gonna come out of this, and then we're gonna dry them. We can put them in the refrigerator overnight, or we can just leave them and then they will dry up by themselves like that. So this is the machine, right? So nothing fancy, you know. Actually, that machine is not for chocolate originally. That machine is what we use for tofu. Like in Vietnam, you know, Vietnamese, we love tofu, right? And we use it to grind the soya beans and make like firm tofu or maybe softened, silken tofu out of it. We also use it to make vermicelli as well. But the owner, he read a book and he being creative, so he used it for the chocolate instead. So now, from this one, from the fermented beans, we put around 20 kilograms, so that we around 50 pounds of fermented beans inside the machine, and then we will let it run for around an hour as well. After an hour, we will produce the nips, and then we continue to tighten that one. We tighten the wheel. We put all the nips. Well, from now we can actually eat the nips. We can actually put the nips into a container to sell them, right? But if we put the nips into the machine again, continue grinding them, then it's gonna become a powder like that. So that's actually the new machine. He got it from the 80s, you know, from the 80s. During the 60s, 70s, when he was very, very young, they actually used this tool to do it. So this is the story. This is the history. This is where this is where everything the chocolate come from. So the owner and his siblings, mainly his sisters, they were actually grinding, you know, like grinding the beans on this, and this is what we call a mortar and nestle like that. So yeah, they mold them, and then the liquid is gonna come under here, and then it's gonna flow around here and here. Now they're gonna have a bowl or something, you know, a bowl or something to receive all the liquid like that. So this is like, you know, mortar and pestle is like it's very basic, right? But now they have the machine instead. And this one is actually the one that is similar, though it's not exactly the same. But the chocolate is come from Mexico, right? It come from the we call it the Mero American, which is like the place where it's now like Mexico, like that, Mexico or Northern America. And the Aztec and the Mayans, these two tribes, they are the first one who discover the cacao tree, you know, and they actually make a drink out of it, just like us, but they actually add a lot of chili, corn milk, and spices into the drink, and they believe it is like a medicine, you know. So I'm talking about the 7th century, many years ago already. Yeah, originally from Mexico. So now let me show you how we make the butter out of it. So this is a little bit of. Have you seen this company before, Cacao? So Cacao is actually also a big chocolate company, and they are like the main. How do you say it? The main partner, you know, of this garden for now. Cacao company. So we got Cacao. Actually, in Vietnam, if you come to Saigon, like Hershey and Mars and these like very sugary chocolate is very popular. But then, of course, if you want to try the original one, then you try Maru, all right? Maru chocolate like that. So this is how we make the butter, chocolate butter, you know. Let me show you this guy. Snails. But anyhow, The chocolate to make it taste like really good. Normally we need a lot of sugar, but for this machine, this is what we call a cylinder. A cylinder, and we supposed to have a. I don't see it now, but anyhow, with a cylinder and with this one, we're gonna press them. We're gonna press the powder. So when we press the powder, we're actually extracting the butter out of it. So you can see in the bottom here, we got a white kind of liquid, and this is what we call cacao butter, like that. So with the cacao butter, we can keep them normally in a jars or in a plastic container. In Vietnam, it's like that. But it's all pretty organic. And with the butter, we use it, like I mentioned, right, for like cosmetic products. And the butter, we can also make white chocolate out of it as well. But then we need a lot of sugar, to make it taste good. Yeah, so this is what the machine look like. So the idea, we press them. Hello. So let me show you the products again. Now come back to our products. We got, with the machine, with the pressure, we got this one, like cocoa butter, like cacao butter. And again, this is the name of the place, Muoi Cuong. Feel free to visit them, whenever you come to the city, to Can Tho. And yeah, here they can say the usage. We're making white chocolate cosmetic like that. And let me open it for you. It's like this. So it's white, right? It's white, and it's very fatty. It's very fatty, very very chocolatey as well, actually. But then there's no sugar in it, so it's actually very hard to eat. But then if we want like something delicious, you can blend them with some sugar or maybe honey or vanilla like that. So actually, this is a blessing from America, right? So the Aztec and the Maya, they discover the chocolate tree, the cacao tree, and they said that this is the gift for them from their god that they call Kukulkan. So Kukulkan is like a deity, like a feathering, like serpent and snake deity, like the one that you see in the chat, right? So this is very valuable. But in 1519, the Spanish, I think, let me remember, his name is Hernan Cortes. Hernan Cortes. He actually make his way to Mexico, and he actually met the king, the king of the Mayan, and then they kind of have a talk, and the king of Mayan actually offering something like this to the Spanish discoverer, explorer, right? So this is like 100% dark chocolate. They're gonna make a drink out of it in the beginning. Like I tell you the story, but the Spanish brought all kind of beans and pots on the ship, and they would travel back to Spain. And in Spain, the royal family, a very wealthy people there, they would start to drink it. They start to drink it with vanilla and honey, which is also originally from Mexico. And during that time, it used to be a very expensive product. It's only for the rich, right? But eventually, people discovered to extract the butter out of the chocolate, and they add a lot of sugar in it. They reduce the amount of cacao. They reduce the amount of cacao powder, and they make it into a bars, a yummy treat, and it get a little bit cheaper like that. So the cacao, the chocolate, it was there for a long time ago, but it got very popular by the European, and it became like a delicious treat during the 16th century like that. So the one that you see here, cacao powder, right? And it actually very nutritious as well. So the owner, he shared with me that in the powder or in the cacao, it carrying something that we call the theobromine. The theobromine is bitter, right? But then it have like a medicinal effect. It's very good for our heart rate. It also lower our cholesterol. And could you buy? Oh yes, absolutely. I'm gonna buy something for you, Spring. and so it's good for the heart. It lower our cholesterol, and it's actually also very good for our memory as well. So this is a type of like a superfood, you know. It have many good nutrients in it. But I would say if we buy it in the stores, right, with all the sugar and all the butter, all the milk, it's not that healthy anymore. But the original, like dark chocolate one, it's very healthy. It's good for the brain. It's good for the heart. It can make it very happy as well. It's carry a chemical that will de-stress us and make it happier later. So yeah. So that's pretty much all kind of products that we have here. So we got this one. I think spring. You're gonna want this one. This is 100% cacao. And we also have this one with a bit sweeter, so it's like 80-20% of sugar like that. All right. So now I think bạn ơi, bạn làm giùm mình một ly nha. Mình uống nóng nha. Ủa mà sáng hai đoàn vậy cô làm có thấy mệt không cô?
Không, tự có bữa cả trăm khách nữa chứ.
Cả trăm người ở đây luôn hả cô?
Nhưng cái cùng tốt vậy chứ không phải vô đoàn cả trăm.
À dạ. À là từng đoàn mà kiểu như là cả buổi sáng đúng không cô? Dạ. À dạ.
Khi họ đến đây họ muốn làm tour là họ đến họ hợp tác trước.
Dạ.
Xong rồi được cái họ làm tour họ bán cho khách.
À dạ. Wow. So this is a wine, not wine. This is what we call a cider actually. So normally in the West, I guess you're making apple cider, right? Apple cider, sometimes honey cider. But in Vietnam, we also use the cacao to make cider out of it. And, you know, it have a very pleasant taste. It's alcoholic, but it's not too strong, you know, because if you come to the Muoi Cuong, people are very good with drinking, all right? And normally they drink sticky rice white. I use the word wine, but actually the liquor in the Muoi Cuong normally is like 40%, you know. So this is like a nice, very pleasant treat for us. It's alcoholic, but it's very, it's not so strong, and it's very sweet, and it tastes like chocolate as well. So chocolate wine or a cider. And again, if you haven't seen it, if you're joining late, this is what a pot look like. All right. The difference is the red one and the green one is unripe, so we cannot really do anything with it. We wait until they turn into this color, so like yellow, kind of orange color like this, and we're gonna extract the flesh, the pulps inside, and then we're gonna make different products out of it. So you know what I'm kind of very fascinating about is, like, sometimes I'm thinking about the first person who ever invented the way to enjoy chocolate. It would be like a form of science almost, you know, because like how do they know how to ferment them and then roast them and then, you know, dry them on the sun. It's like the whole long process, but then it was there for a very long time ago already. So for me, the chocolate is like a delicious treat. It's very good for us, but it's almost like it's like the whole science process behind it as well. From from this one, like from the cacao pods, really actually, if you not get used to it, if you smell it, you wouldn't like it because it's very citrusy. It's very funky, you know, funky. And when you ferment it, it's very gross. Actually, it's very alcoholic. It have a strong smell, but then in the end, it turned into something like this. So I'm having this one right now. This is what we love to drink in Vietnam during the French, and now we kind of creative. So sometimes we say, you see the youngster, they kind of put Oreos, cookies, and milk, and a lot of foam around it as well. But the original one, it's just like dark hot chocolate with a tiny bit of condensed milk in the bottom. So this is, I'm talking about the late 18th century and 19th century, where we got colonized by the European, by the French. And this is like a small cube of, of cocoa butter like that. So we can add them in as well for the fattiness. All right. It's time to end the tour, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the tour today. Thank you for the tips and for all the support. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna enjoying my drink, and I will use this time. We got around 5 more minutes, I think. I want to make it 1 hour today, so I will use this time to answering your question. All right, and I know that I may miss a lot of them, but let me try my best to see what I can do today. So thank you for joining. Thank you, Robert, and your group. Thank you, all of our Hego friends. I'm so happy to see all of you today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And tomorrow I'm gonna doing a Zen monastery tour in the Mekong as well, the biggest one in the city. And I will fly to Hanoi to the north. All right. So if you want to keep in touch with us, then Spring gonna pass down our link tree. If you click on our link tree, you can save our ebook, you can save our travel guide, and you can connect with us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thank you once again for all the tips and support. And now let me see. Thank you, Ivy, for coming. Thank you, Laurie. Thank you, Mabel as well. So good to see you. For the tip, Tippy and Shirley. Have a sip for me. Yes, I'm gonna do it now. So condensed milk, right, and chocolate powder. It's actually pretty warm. Yeah, so it's so delicious. It's unlike the one that you got in a store normally in Vietnam with the Hershey and Kit Kat and M&M. But mostly it's just like sugar. It's extremely sweet. This is not sweet. This is like you are drinking like chocolate. Like that. Very very pleasant. It's warm my throat as well because it's speaking a lot, so I feel much better right now. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Don. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone. Robert, is there anything like this in the US? Where would we buy it? I think there's a company in Florida that growing chocolate that you can buy it from. You can take a look on Maru. Maru company is a company in Vietnam. It's very big, and it was run by two people from San Francisco actually. So maybe they can ship it over to the state. You can check out this place. So again, let me show you. This place is Muoi Cuong, and he also do delivery to the west. He have a Facebook page, but if you type, oh, it's all up. You cannot read it here, right? So let me do this. Yeah. So Muoi Cuong, you can take a look on his Facebook, and you can Google him. But he mentioned with me that he doesn't do a lot of delivering nowadays because he got very tired. He run this business from the cities, so it's like 60 years, 62 years already. And yeah, nowadays he's just relaxing around the house like that. But I'm not sure. Maybe if you take a look, you can buy some of his products as well. Vietnam produce good chocolate, even though we are not so popular, compared to the African or maybe to our neighbor Indonesia. But we do have some good quality products. Um, Thank you, thank you. I'm reading all your chat right now. I'm very happy. All right, thank you for joining. What is the little package there? Yeah, so you see that we have mainly the mash, like this one original chocolate. We got butter out of them and nips. Yeah, and cider mainly. Becker. The wine is from the fermentation. Yes. So the cider, the liquor is from the fermentation process. We ferment them for 7 days, but we can also use like the whitey flesh. Some of them could use for the cider as well. Chocolate cider, yeah, it tastes good. Yeah, we did like more than 200 already, I think. Thank you, everyone. It's boring if I just sit here and talk to you like this. Let me just walk around the garden and kind of take a look at the chat at the same time. It stopped raining right now, kind of. Question. Could you buy? Can you only eat milk chocolate? I'm to eat one. Yeah, yes, absolutely. I mean, that's why people love chocolate, right? Because of the milk. Because chocolate originally it wasn't popular because when it's dark, it's very bitter, you know. So if you want to, you can eat the chocolate butter with milk and honey or vanilla, and it's like a yummy treat. Đó. Yeah, so totally possible. The one that you see today is all 100%. We got 180%. But when big company buy them, then they gonna reduce them into 60%, 40%, or even I think the one that in Kit Kat is like 10%, or maybe less than that. You know. Thank you, Robert. One more time for mention about the tip. Thank you. Which is enjoy more, white or plain chocolate? In Vietnam, it's always the sugary one because, like I mentioned, Vietnamese is not really a chocolate lover country, so we eat it only for the fun of it. The youngster people love it. The older generation they don't really care because if you look at the chart, I forget to post it for you during the tour, right? But mainly you can see it's European countries, Switzerland, Germany, England, like that. So yeah, talking about chocolate, we tend to buy, you know, M&M, Kit Kat, Marsh, or Hershey, like that. We don't even care about our own chocolate. Most of us, the young one, don't even know that we can grow chocolate in this country, you know. So yeah, probably most of the products that we enjoy are the one in the supermarket. 72 chocolate is superfood, yes. They have some very cute dogs here as well. All right. I don't see Vietnam on that. No, we are not on that list. That list is like the top country in the world. We don't consume that much. Take a puppy. Oh no. Here, much better for them, for the puppy, you know, Ivy. It's like they have like 3 acres of land where they can play and kind of discovering thing, you know. If I take it at home, then I don't think the owner would allow. But even if they do, then it's gonna be very tiny space for them. So the canal here. Yeah, they love to swim around this area and got very, very dirty as well, these dogs in the Mekong. It's like that. All right. What the most pots that you've seen growing on one tree? We don't know actually. So the owner said that it's grow all year around 3.5 months. Every 10 days, he gonna collect the pots, and he said that when he collect, it tend to be they do it by kilograms, right? So it tend to be 100 kilograms per day. 100 now I want you to know that only himself, all right, him and his wife along with the son, sometimes they helping but they have their work. So 100 kilograms, he doesn't really care about counting the pots, and he doesn't really care like which tree produce more pots like that. So yeah, I don't know. All right, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow, I hope, for our Zen monastery tour if you're interested. If not, then I'll see you in Hanoi, all right? In Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam, and eventually Ninh Bình, the UNESCO heritage site. Please enjoy your day. Have a lovely, lovely evening. I wish you God bless in whatever you do in life. And I wish you got all the luck and all the prosperity as well. Do you like being out in the rural area or at home in the city? Oh, in the rural area all the time. Yeah, it's much, much better than the city than Patricia. I don't know, maybe some city are very pleasant, like Da Nang in the central. They have the ocean, They got the good amount of tree and greeneries and mountains. At the same time, they have all the development. I enjoy that. But I would say if I choose between Saigon and the Mekong, then Mekong all the way, you know. Especially these days where it's all the same. It's just that Saigon is more polluted, you know. All right. See you all. Enjoy your day and bye for now.